You guys, what does this mean for the retailers and brands that are listening? Because this is a major change to kind of how we've been functioning since e-commerce really came around. It was like, you have the little query search bar at the top of the site, and that's kind of where we have all been trained to shop online. What does this require then from the retailers listening?
I think this what's fascinating about e-commerce is you take the real world and you try to bring it online. So the cart, right?
Yeah.
The concept of adding things to cart makes sense in the store because you have to literally walk with your cart to
Yep.
check out. Then Amazon says buy now, so you can actually just buy a thing and then buy another thing, and then they will consolidate an order. So you don't have to no longer add to cart. Now here's the same. So you're in a store and say you're in an consumer electronic store and you're like, hey, I'm
Hmm.
looking for a coffee machine.
Yeah.
The
Right.
salesperson will not tell you, oh, great, I have 300 over there.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Right.
Like you
Right.
just 300. Go and
Yeah.
have fun, find something. That sounds ridiculous, but the web is structured that way. The web is type a query and here's all the results and you go figure it out. So Amazon comes in a few months ago, Andy Jassy is CEO, and says, we are going to do the work. The consumers don't have to search. We're going to tell you what's the right product for your need, and we're going to get you there, which means translation, more sales, but also it's fascinating, less returns, right? Because
Mhm.
it's no longer you attempting to buy that coffee machine. Just anecdote, our CTO co-founder Joel told me to buy a Philips machine. I trusted him. I didn't do my research. I opened the box, I returned it the same, hour. So you feel guilty because you bought something, it's not the right thing, you return it. And so with Rufus, what you'll have, and iterations of Rufus, is you'll know before you bought the product that that's exactly the one you need. So less chance to return it.
So payment, what does that mean then though for like what operations are having to change? What teams are having to be developed to really support doing this on any retailer not named Amazon?
Like always, right? Fast free shipping, free return. When Amazon sets a standard, and now Rufus is live to all app users and is rolling out through the web. So this isn't like, oh, we're testing and learning. You open your app, and at the very final tab, the last tab of your app where there used to be checkout, is where Rufus is enabled. So just that means that consumer behavior is shifting very quickly. And so retailers have to think through, I need to adapt my website from what it was before, search and results, to how can I help shoppers? How can I help answer their questions? So how do I use a large language model, fine tune and train on my catalog to answer questions? And that also means bringing in AI teams that have this expertise. So work with startups, partner with the giants, the Googles, etc., to quickly find a solution for you, because consumers are going to go to your website and they're going to expect you within your category expertise to also answer their questions.
Heyman, you mentioned Google. I actually want to bring them into the discussion right here deliberately too, because what we've been talking about so far is Rufus on Amazon, which is essentially an e-commerce browser, for lack of a better way to put it. But Google sits in a different sphere. How is what Google's doing going to impact this discussion as well? And where do they fit into commerce?
So at the same time that Andy Jassy, CEO at Amazon, announces Rufus, Google comes on stage and says, after 20 years of search and blue link results, for you to find the answer to your question on a third-party website and having to read that blog or being thrown into a retailer's website, Google says, you know what? We'll also take that responsibility. We'll also come and answer your questions. And that's Google AI Overviews. So go in and type a question directly on Google, and Google summarizes the answer to your question, taking the data from those third-party sites and sending you to the right site that gave you that answer. And like they're saying, they're rolling it out to 1 billion users by the end of the year, billions the years to come. So the same thing comes true to Google, which is we no longer search and results, we search and ask. And the same is coming from Apple with Siri saying, ask Siri anything, right? So these three giant companies are changing the way we search by being able to ask questions. And what's really fascinating for a retailer is Google doesn't have the answers. They never claim to have the answers. They say, we're going to go scour the web and find whoever has the answers. So if you're a retailer in groceries, in beauty, consumer electronic, home improvement, whatever you do, if you take your data and answer questions and you feed that to Google, you will win on Google. What does it mean to win on Google? Free traffic to your site.